Hello, science fans! Today, we're going to talk about something you can't see, but is super important, especially when making medicines. It's called differential pressure. Now, what does that mean? Think about blowing up a balloon. The air inside the balloon is pushing outwards more than the air outside is pushing inwards. That difference in push or pressure is what we call a differential pressure. It's simply a difference in air pressure between two spaces. Imagine one room has slightly more air pushed into it than the room next door. That first room now has a higher pressure. It's a brilliant yet simple concept that has a huge job to do. So why does this matter? Well, in the world of making medicines, keeping things clean is not just a good idea. It's everything. We need to make sure that no nasty germs, dust, or other tiny particles get into the medicines that people will eventually use. To do this, we use differential pressure to control which way the air moves. Air always wants to move from an area of high pressure to an area of low pressure. It's a fundamental rule of physics. By controlling this, we can make sure air flows out of our super clean rooms rather than letting dirty air flow in. It's like having an invisible guard at the door. Let's break it down with an example. Picture two rooms side by side, separated by a door. We use a special system called an HVAC system. That's heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, to pump a little more air into room A than into room B. This makes room A a high-pressure zone. Now, whenever you open the door between them, what happens? The air from room A rushes into room B. It doesn't go the other way. This simple trick ensures that any potential contaminants in room B can't sneak their way into the cleaner room A. It's science in action, and it's happening all the time in pharmaceutical facilities. This whole idea is based on a very simple principle, but its application is incredibly clever and vital. We are essentially creating invisible barriers made of moving air. These barriers are more effective than just a closed door because they work actively to push contaminants away. So while you might not feel it when you walk from one room to another, this carefully managed difference in air pressure is working tirelessly behind the scenes. It's one of the unsung heroes that helps ensure the medicines we rely on are safe and pure. Science is cool, isn't it? In pharmaceutical manufacturing, we have different levels of cleanliness, often called grades. Think of a grade B clean room as being incredibly clean, where sterile products are prepared. Right next to it, you might have a grade C area, which is still very clean, but not quite as pristine. To protect the grade B room, we make sure its air pressure is higher. We typically aim for a pressure difference of about 10 to 15 pascals between these areas. A pascal is a unit of pressure. It's very small, but in this context, it's a big deal. This ensures a constant, gentle flow of air from the cleaner grade B room to the less clean grade C room, forming an invisible shield. This concept is especially brilliant when we need to create clean zones without using solid walls. Sometimes manufacturing processes require a large open space, but with specific areas that must be kept ultra-sterile. By using carefully directed airflow from above, called a unidirectional airflow hood, we can create a high-pressure bubble of super clean air right over the critical equipment. This air pushes downwards and outwards, preventing any contaminants from the surrounding room from drifting in. It's like having a protective force field made entirely of clean air, allowing for flexibility while maintaining absolute sterility where it matters most. Now, let's talk about airlocks. Airlocks are small rooms that act as a buffer between a less clean area, like a corridor, and a very clean manufacturing suite. They are critical for controlling contamination. When a person enters the airlock from the corridor, the door behind them closes before the door to the clean room opens. Airlocks use differential pressure in a clever way. The airlock will have a higher pressure than the corridor, but a lower pressure than the clean room. This creates a cascade of pressure, ensuring that air always flows towards the less clean area, preventing contaminants from being dragged into the heart of the facility. All of this is not just a good manufacturing practice, it's a rule. Regulatory bodies like the MHRA in the UK or the FDA in the US have strict guidelines about this. They require pharmaceutical companies to prove that they are maintaining these precise pressure differences. Companies must continuously monitor the pressure, keep detailed records, and have alarm systems in place. This is because regulators know that if you can't control the air, you can't control contamination. Adhering to these rules is non-negotiable for any company that wants to produce safe and effective medicines for the public. So what happens if this carefully balanced system fails? Imagine the pressure in our ultra-clean grade B room suddenly drops. If it falls below the pressure of the adjacent grade C room, the airflow will reverse. Instead of clean air flowing out, less clean air will start to flow in. This is a disaster scenario in pharmaceutical manufacturing. It means that microorganisms, dust, and other particles from the less controlled area can be pulled directly into the sterile environment. This contamination could get into the medicine being produced, making it unsafe for patients and completely ruining the entire batch. The consequences of such a contamination event are severe. If a contaminated batch of medicine were to leave the factory, it could cause serious harm or even be fatal to the patients who receive it. This is why quality control is so stringent. A failure in the pressure differential system would almost certainly lead to a full product recall. This is not only incredibly expensive for the company, but it also damages their reputation and the public's trust. The health of patients is the #1 priority, and a breakdown in this invisible safety system puts that directly at risk. Beyond the immediate contamination risk, pressure failures can cause major regulatory problems. During an inspection, if regulators find that a company is not properly monitoring or maintaining its pressure differentials, they can issue severe penalties. This could include heavy fines, a shutdown of the manufacturing line, or even the revocation of the company's license to produce medicines. These facilities are designed with these systems as a core part of their contamination control strategy. If that strategy fails, the entire basis for safe manufacturing is compromised in the eyes of the regulators. It's also important to remember that these systems are interconnected. A problem in one area can have a domino effect on others. For instance, if a filter in the HVAC system becomes clogged, it can reduce airflow and cause a pressure drop across multiple rooms. Or if a door is left open for too long, it can destabilize the entire pressure cascade. This is why constant vigilance is key. The risks are simply too high to ignore. A momentary lapse can compromise an entire production run, leading to health risks, financial loss, and serious regulatory trouble. To avoid these scary scenarios, pharmaceutical companies follow strict best practices. The first and most important is continuous monitoring. Modern clean rooms are fitted with sophisticated pressure sensors that measure the differentials between rooms 24/7. These systems are connected to a central building management system, which logs the data and can display it in real time. This allows facility managers to see at a glance that everything is working as it should. It's like having a constant health checkup for the building's air system, ensuring it stays in top condition. When monitoring reveals a problem, you need to know about it immediately. That's where alarms come in. If a pressure differential drops below its specified limit for even a short period, an alarm, both audible and visual, will be triggered. This alerts the staff on the floor and the facility managers instantly, so they can take corrective action. The action could be as simple as ensuring a door is properly closed, or as complex as initiating maintenance on the HVAC system. These alarms are the facility's early warning system, preventing a small issue from becoming a major contamination event. Of course, technology is only part of the solution. The people working in these environments are just as important. All staff must be thoroughly trained on why differential pressure is so critical. They need to understand the role they play in maintaining it, such as following correct procedures for entering and exiting rooms through airlocks and never propping doors open. Good training ensures that everyone understands that their actions directly impact the safety and quality of the product. When the team is well informed, they become an active part of the contamination control solution. In conclusion, while it may be completely invisible, differential pressure is one of the most fundamental and vital tools we have in pharmaceutical manufacturing. It is a silent, powerful force that stands guard against contamination, protecting both the product and the patient. From its simple scientific principle to its complex application in high-tech facilities, it creates the controlled environments necessary to make the safe, pure medicines we all depend on. So next time you think about how medicines are made, remember the unseen hero, the simple yet brilliant power of differential pressure. Consider this: it's science working for our health.